And if restrictions are going to come off in the way that Sajid Javid is telling the Commons, that has to be one of the first ones to go, doesn't it? 0345 6060 973. Neil Strowger is head teacher, leader of the Bohurt Education Trust. That is a multi-academy trust based in Hampshire, responsible for over 11,500 pupils. So, Neil, you must have seen this up close and personal. Tell me what proportion, what percentage of your pupils tend to be isolating at any given moment. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tom. Well, we've been very fortunate, I think, in that we've had relatively low numbers of students affected across all of our schools. And I put that down to good fortune as well as stringent measures in place to keep young people safe. Ironically, we had at Bohunt School today, we had our first positive case since the restart in March. And unfortunately, that's led to 58 students having to self-isolate.
58?
It's a huge problem. I mean, this is out of a year group of 350. So it could be many times worse. But we are working within the guidelines as they are currently. And this is an issue that polarises opinion, as I'm sure you are seeing on your texts and messages. We have, on the one hand, we have those parents and pressure groups who are writing to us and threatening us with legal action to hold us personally and legally responsible for the decisions that we're taking in our schools, with vaccinations, that if we promote the use of vaccination, if we are asking students to wear face coverings. So that's on one...
You're getting letters from campaign groups threatening legal action because you're telling people that the vaccines are working?
If we were to do that, yes.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, you have those parents who are very frightened and don't want to send their children to school because they don't think it's safe. Don't forget as well, there's 100,000 children, I read, that have simply not come back to school since the first lockdown. It's a massive problem for us. It's a problem for us as a society, and it's definitely a problem in school. The positive is that those children who are self-isolating in our trust are still able to dial into their lessons. So they are, the teachers are doing that, clever balancing of being in front of pupils, yet at a safe distance, and also having students electronically, digitally joining them in the classroom. So it puts a whole load of pressure on the profession, but we're under no illusion that it's really bad news for the parents and really bad news for the students. And the students have been really the ones that we're all focused upon. Their safety is paramount. And conversely, we know that we've seen something of a Matthew effect during lockdown. And what that is basically those children who are more advantaged have done really quite well. And some of them have actually quite enjoyed working from home. However, there is a very significant number who have become yet further disadvantaged by their lack of access to IT, to learning, to the advantage that they might have in school. So it's a big, big problem for us all, no doubt about it.
So what do you want to see, Neil, in any changes to the restrictions that are going to come on the 19th?
Well, I think absolute clarity would be a really helpful start. So we know as school leaders what we're being asked to do. So we know what we need to plan for and for when. And that message needs to be consistent. It can't keep chopping and changing as it perhaps has done in the past. So I'd like us to make a decision and then stick to it, but one that keeps students safe, because none of us want to have an outbreak in our school, a new variant that, God forbid, our students end up hospitalised or worse. That would be every head teacher's worst nightmare.
Really good to speak to you. Thank you very much indeed. I can't believe that. Neil Strowger, by the way, head teacher and leader of the Bohunt Education Trust, multi-academy trust based in Hampshire, 11,500 pupils, that they're being written to by campaign groups to try and get them to stop giving them the information about the vaccines. Just bizarre. Christine Brett is the co-founder of the Parents Campaign Group